What's up everyone, it's a Twisted Pix team back with another video. Today we're going over some composition tips so you can improve your photography skills. Make sure you like and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into it. First of all, what is composition? Composition in photography means paying attention to what will be photographs, how the focal point is placed in relation to other objects in the image, and how well the subject is expressed. A good composition is one that has just enough detail. Too few elements is bad, and too much element is not good. It will cause distractions, and it's very hard for the viewer to understand the story behind the image. Always keep two elements in mind. Get your position right, and correctly position your subject. There are a number of composition elements that photographers use, but I found that these composition techniques will definitely improve your photography journey. I will start with the more popular and simple ones, and at the end I will give you more advanced techniques which will take your photos to the professional level. The rule of thirds is the first rule of composition taught by many photography schools. Many photographers frame the subject to be perfectly centered in the middle of the frame. This will attract all the attention to the subject, but will limit the viewer's desire to explore the rest of the image. The rule of thirds is very simple. You divide your frame into an even 3x3 grid. Many camera manufacturers actually include the capability to display this grid in live view mode and the viewfinder as well. The idea is to place the most important elements of the scene along the intersections of the lines. There are 4 vertices in which the lines intersect, and these points are the points in which the viewer looks at first. So positioning your subject along one of these points will emphasize and make your subject stand out more. Make sure you keep in mind, if you're photographing people or moving objects, to place them so that they're facing towards the area with more empty space. Check out these images in which the rule of thirds is applied. Now that I've told you not to place the main subject in the center of the frame, I'm going to tell you to do the exact opposite. Symmetrical scenes are perfect for centered composition. Buildings, roads, bridges, and even reflections of a landscape often make great subjects for a centered composition. Centering your subject in certain situations can create balance, and it works great for some shots. Keep in mind, when you photograph people with a wide-angled lens, there will be some distortion, and your subjects may look weird if you place them near the edge of the frame. But the impact of the distortion is minimal when you center the subject. Check out these images where the subjects are perfectly centered. Simplicity itself can be a powerful compositional tool. It's often said that less is more. Simplicity often means taking photos with uncomplicated backgrounds that don't distract from the main subject. You can also create a simple composition by zooming in on a part of your subject and focusing on a particular detail. First thing you can do to improve simplicity is reframe your shot. Consider your position. See if you can move yourself or your subject so that there aren't any distracting colors, scenes, or other distractions that take away from your subject. Let's say you're shooting a subject and you have off-putting branches or a bright orange pylon cluttering the frame. Try to reposition yourself so that you have different, much simpler backgrounds. This will draw more attention to your subject and make your photo easier to scan. In this photo, I zoomed in on some water droplets on a leaf in a garden. It's a simple subject, but it's also very beautiful because of its simplicity. A good macro lens or extension tube you can buy from Amazon for less than $50. It can be a very useful tool for creating these types of photos. Leaving a lot of empty space or negative space around your subject can be very attractive. It helps the viewer focus on the main subject without any distractions. For example, this image of a falcon. It is composed in a way that there are no distractions in the foreground and the background.
so the viewer can focus on the falcon. Here are some examples of how negative space is applied.
Leading lines are one of the most useful elements in photography. They can be used to create powerful images with a strong visual impact. Leading lines help lead the viewer through the image and focus attention on the important elements. Anything from paths, walls, or patterns can be used for leading lines. Before you begin shooting, take a while and survey your scene. Identify all the options that can be used as leading lines in the area, so you can determine the best way to lead to your target. Also remember that leading lines do not have to be straight lines. Check out these images which follow this compositional rule.
The general idea of using the golden spiral or the Fibonacci spiral is to help frame your subject better. You find your focal point and move around the image in a more circular movement. While this does not need to be in any exact way, it's a good rule of thumb for how to frame your image, leaving some space on one side, but within the space, having something that leads your viewer's eye to one key spot in your image. At the end of the day, this is really just a good exercise for your eye in creating a more dynamic composition and using the whole frame to focus on one main subject. Other compositional tips for great images include So that's all for now, guys. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed watching this video, drop a like and comment your favorite compositional rule down below. Hit that subscribe button and we'll see you guys later. Peace.